having my kids here, the way they're growing up, the way they interact with other kids communicates to me that it's just, it feels right.
You know, the best of both worlds. I get to get in touch with my roots, and then I'm also hanging around with people that have had like journeys. So we kind of talk about the things that we've been through. So I think it's great.
What does the healthcare look like? And in Santiago, I consider it to be just as good as Toronto.
I used to think of VR as, a little bit more, not as advanced as the US. A lot of things are unexpected here.
Yeah.
But when I came back, I'm like, I can live here.
If you're coming for 6-7 days in a row and going out every night and drinking and having the best time of your life, and you don't go further than this one little strip, you may not experience the real Dominican Republic. You'll experience a part of it.
The infrastructure, safety, all the numbers that we're seeing of this country is going ahead of the reputation.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a few years until people in North America realize, oh, this is different. This has changed.
It's your life, time to live it. This is episode number 17, and it's a really special one. We're here live in Ultra Infinity Hotel, and we have a special event today, and I'm here with my friends, and I'm here with the host of tonight's event. Julio, welcome. Anthony, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And yes, our pleasure. And if you could tell us a little bit about tonight and what's happening here.
So tonight we're going to have our first events of Dominican Bridge in Cabarete.
Yes, finally.
What that means is that we're getting people from all walks of life who chose the DR and decided to make it their home, or maybe they're in the process of making it their home. And
Fantastic.
They're all meeting here.
Absolutely. How are we doing for attendance today? Is it going to be a full house?
Yes, we're expecting a full house. We have about 80 already confirmed, but we're expecting well over 100 people to come. So it should be definitely a great time.
Absolutely. We're going to fill up this place for a Saturday night and make it lots of fun. And what are some of the things? Like I was just talking with Eric back there, and you guys have brought in some unique experiences. Tell me a little bit about that.
So Eric is going to be doing a live painting performance here, and we're all going to experience that with him. We're all going to add in our little piece of paint onto the painting, and it's going to be all of us together creating.
Fantastic. And from the attendance, do you expect people from just our area, or do you have people that you know of for sure that are traveling from different parts of the island?
That's a great question. Actually, we have people from all parts of the island. We have Santiago, Santo Domingo, Punta Cana, and who knows where else.
Right.
We have a big group coming from Santiago, actually. So everywhere in the island, there'll be a little bit of everything.
You know, one thing that I noticed as I started to learn more and talk to more people, as I feel that there's a really heavy interest from people from Santiago to here. And I think it has to do obviously with proximity, right? It's close, but also that it's more inland here, and here's coastal. Where when I talk to people in Punta Cana, obviously Santo Domingo being a big city, I feel that they kind of gravitate towards Punta Cana. Is that something that you guys have found also?
So have you heard that people say Santiago has a beach?
This is the beach. Okay, I was going to say it has a beach. I'm like, how's that possible?
Right. So me personally, I been in Santiago for 8 years. This is the place I come to when I want to experience this.
Yeah.
I get to the water, just be at the beach and enjoy.
Yeah.
So I think this is great.
And I know, Anthony, you're explaining over the last couple of years, we've had the opportunity to visit here, but maybe describe for the people that because of the lighting, we don't have the full background, but describe kind of what you are seeing over here in the background.
I mean, just as everybody says, right? Windy. You have a lot of kite surfing, a lot of the wind sports, beautiful, vibrant people. The local community is just amazing. Just a unique feel here in the North Coast, I think.
Absolutely. And as the sun is setting, you have some people some of the kites are going down now because the winds drop, but you have people that are wing foiling, wind surfing. I saw a fisherman down there throwing the net, and you can see lots of activity as you go down into that stretch of Cabarete Bay where you have a bunch of great restaurants, some excellent nightlife over here. And Ultra Infinity is right in the heart of everything, right? You're a minute from Janet's grocery store, and you're just a couple minutes walk to downtown Cabarete. So the location is fantastic.
This place is sweet.
I love your guys' name, the brand name that you guys are building with Dominican Bridge. Tell me a little bit about how you guys came up with that name. Was there like a brainstorm and then there was like 2 or 3 options and it was like, this is the one, or you knew that this was the name from the beginning?
So we were going through some names. We just fell in love with the whole idea of bridging DR with everybody that's coming internationally into the Dominican Republic. Also, we're from New York. To me, I love particularly that it reminded me of Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay.
It kind of goes, Dominican Bridge, Brooklyn Bridge. I know there's no such thing as the Dominican Bridge physically, but we're here, in our show, now here in the country. And so that's how we pretty much came up with and landed on Dominican Bridge as the name.
Absolutely. Are you guys a Knicks fan?
Knicks?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I'm the diehard Knicks fan.
I'm cheering for them. The Mecca of basketball. I love it. You guys have OG Anunoby.
Oh, yeah.
He's a former Toronto Raptor. Good player.
He is. Yep. Yeah, I think this year's our year. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. 2-0 against the Cavs. Let's take it to the finals. That'll be really interesting. And tell me a little bit about Dominican Bridge, because when I visualize it, and as you're making the drive here, you see some beautiful bridges, or maybe you guys were coming up with New York Bridge. But I was almost picturing like a bridge between, like, sometimes when people leave to have a better life, but then they're coming back here to have a better life. And that's something that I've seen with a lot of people that are born in the Dominican that left for whatever reason, but are also returning. And that's how I kind of visualize the Dominican Bridge from the communication and kind of the messaging that I felt from you guys. Tell me a little bit, Julio, about your origin story, like where you're born and where you grew up and why you chose to be here.
So I was born here. I was born in Santiago. I left to New York City when I was around 2, 3-ish. My entire life in New York City up until I was around 27, 28. I actually wasn't planning on moving here. I was planning a wedding.
Okay.
And I was planning the wedding. I came here and it was just completely different than my childhood memories. I used to think of DR as, a little bit more, not as advanced as in the US.
Yeah.
A lot of things are unexpected here.
Yeah.
But when I came back, I'm like, I can live here.
Yeah.
This is safe. This is great. I can make this my home.
Yeah.
And after my wedding, we just ripped up the ticket.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow. And as we were talking, I was sharing with you that we have 2 children.
Yeah.
And we're very proud to raise our children here. And you have 2 daughters also. How is it being a father and raising your family here?
So I would say that's one of the main things that makes me feel I made the right decision.
Yeah.
Is having my kids here, living the life they're living here, like the way they're growing up, the way they interact with other kids, the way they interact with their teachers, just communicates to me that it's just, it feels right.
Yep.
I don't know the right words. I know the words, if I look for them, I might find them, but I know you feel that too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not only the education that they have here,
Right.
It's the community. It's the social community that they have. So our children are in athletics. On the weekend, they have different activities. They're always being invited, like, to birthday parties. And it's getting to know the other parents and even the relationship that we have with the teachers. Like yesterday, me and my wife were invited to one of our friends' birthday parties, and the teachers, the director of the school was there. The other teachers were there, and I don't know if that's really the same opportunity or community environment that you get in North America.
Correct.
Right. And he mentioned security, okay, or safety. You coming back here and spending the last couple of years, how have you felt safe here?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's not what the family says it is. Listen, my family is left. My dad left in 1979. All right, he comes here. He's here now. He's in San Jose de las Matas, up in in the countryside, in El Campo of Santiago. Okay. But he doesn't really live in the cities. He really doesn't get around much. So same thing with my aunts, my uncles, and family, our cousins. We grow up hearing how maybe it's not the best place to live here. But I mean, things have changed. It might have been to their credit back then, maybe but things are flipping right now.
Yeah.
As you know, you've been here for a while. The infrastructure is better. Safety right now with things that are happening outside of the U.S. and all these Western countries, Europe, Canada, the U.S. I mean, it's just, you can't compare. The things that I've seen growing up in Queens,
Oh,
it's just, I'm not going to see those.
Toronto, the same thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And so Safety, absolutely. Over here, I just can't see how it's any safer outside of here.
Yeah.
Personally, you know.
And I think the safety comes with being smart, right?
Absolutely.
Like being in the right environments, not looking for the wrong things. And I think those are common denominators, no matter if you're in New York or if you're in Toronto,
Yeah.
or if you're here in Cabarete. You know what I mean? It's just being smart with those decisions that people are making. And if you're coming here and visiting, just be responsible, be respectful. I think that's important. Like, don't leave your phone or your wallet out anywhere you go, because
Yeah.
prevention is always better than the cure, right?
Mm.
So just having a little bit of that street smarts, I would call it,
Yeah.
you'll be totally fine here in the Dominican Republic.
It's another point. To Anthony's point, I think the reputation, the infrastructure, safety, all the numbers that we're seeing of this country is going ahead of the reputation.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a few years until people in North America realize,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is different. This is change.
Yeah.
This is safer. Everything is just different.
And it's happening now.
It
And we've seen it. Droves of people moving here, returning Dominicans, international people
Yep.
that have, Dominican wife or husband or some roots here, and are looking to build more roots. It's happening at a rapid pace right now, and it's going to continue, I think, to continue to happen. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I look at the acronym FEAR, false evidence appearing real. A lot of times people, when they don't know,
Yeah.
and they may act or respond like out of that emotion that they're feeling in the time. Because even when me and my family were moving down here, some of my own family were like, "You're crazy. Like, what are you doing? How are you going to go there?" I'm like, "You guys haven't even been here before. And how do you know even to say that I'm crazy to do something like that?"
No.
Yes.
Because they've heard.
Yes, of
You know,
course.
but I'm all about experiencing things for myself, and so I'm glad I did it, because, and I've been already had these thoughts for many years before I moved. But it's one thing when you actually do it and you feel good. You're like, man, I knew it, had that hunch, and now I found community as well, and so the best of both worlds. I get to kind of like get in touch with my roots, and then I'm also hanging around with people that have had like journeys. So we kind of talk about the things that we've been through. So I think it's great.
I think that's really interesting what you said right there, is that like-minded people, that there's some commonalities. When you're meeting people like tonight's event, which is a networking event, you automatically have a common denominator, which is the fact that maybe that they relocated. Maybe they're thinking about relocating, and being in that environment where people can actually push through what I call the terror barrier. Automatically, we're setting the tone like differently, right? And that's easy to have conversations with that. Now, Anthony, tell me a little bit about your origin story, because everyone's different. I think I was more like yours. Like, we came here, we had a feeling, and I knew that this is a place that I wanted to raise my family. How was your origin story?
All right. So first, I guess I have to say, in the States, I'm from Corona, Queens, New York, born and raised. But I've lived in South Jersey by Philadelphia. I lived in Long Island, outside of the city, in Queens for 5 years. I lived in Houston, Texas. I lived
wow.
in South Florida for almost 8 years before moving here. And so, you gotta have to understand, I might be a little bit different. And I've met a lot of people actually like myself that moved around a bit. And I used to travel also as a musician. I used to play bachata early on.
Oh, okay.
And so I kind of like traveling and moving around is not really like a big thing for me personally. And so it's easy for me to just get up and be like, let's go, So that's one thing. But I've been wanting to move here for a long time. I was born, like I said, and raised in the U.S. And I've never really felt like I was part of the U.S. personally. Since I was a kid, just personally, everybody has their own thing. And I've always felt as a kid coming here like I belonged here. As an adult, I would leave crying. You have to understand, like, when you're leaving crying every time, multiple times a year, there's something wrong, right? So I figured, okay, there's something wrong. I need to be here. I need to move here. I need to figure out a way. And it's funny, I met Julio and Joe and my friend Jonah Gomez, Wilson, Francis, just so many people in Johanna Batista, right?
Yeah.
In an event with Jamie Gruber, actually, in Santiago. I think it's the only one he did about 2 years ago. And that was pretty much the last straw for me. I went back home and I'm like, all right, we're selling everything. Like, that's it. I didn't realize at the time, which is why Dominican Bridge as well was born, is how important it was going to be for me to have community in this country.
Absolutely.
I didn't even consider it,
Yeah.
You were, and so I was already like, everything else was fine. That just added, and I just went back and it was like it lit a fire, and I was like, I'm leaving. We're moving. So,
What are some of the challenges? Because I know that we paint like a really nice picture, and people for sure say it's not all rainbows, and they're right. for sure there's some sort of adjustment.
Yeah.
Because things are different from there to here. What are some of the things that you felt that maybe you guys had to adjust, or maybe what's some of the feedback that you've seen that where people are making a similar decision that they maybe need to plan ahead of time for?
You know, I think people need to spend time here before, before they go through that process, just really pretend they're living here, just to like absorb the differences.
Yep.
Because it's not necessarily a bad thing that it's different. It's just different,
Mm-hmm.
Like me personally, I consider myself like very much personality wise, like I'm a New Yorker,
Yeah.
right? So like here, the culture is different, and I've been coming here my whole life, so it's not a culture shock.
Yeah.
But just getting used to that, it was for me a challenge.
Yeah.
Now I see it as actually a good thing, because now I've changed, I've grown, because that's another part of that's culture that I've brought into myself.
Absolutely. And Anthony, anything that you felt that when you were making some of those moves that it took a little bit longer, or there's a little bit adjustment period with certain things?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's very natural. Anywhere you go, like I said, even in the States, moving from state to state, there's always an adjustment period. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit of the more stronger type culturally of a change. And like Julio said, I mean, everybody's different.
Yeah.
So some people, like he said, he suggests, which I do as well, to come here and kind of spend a couple months if you can. Not everybody could do it.
Right.
And or like a year, whatever the case is. But there's some people there's some people like us that have been coming here maybe since we were kids every year that might have a different viewpoint of it. Maybe might be a little bit ready, but as much as I came here, there was still an adjustment period. Trust me.
Absolutely.
There's still adjustments to the driving.
That's a big one.
Adjusting to certain things slowly. Like I'm more, you grow to accept it. And it is one of those things it's perfectly imperfect. Like we said, with cat.
Yes, I like that.
And so, like Julio said, I recommend people, if you can, to come and try to adjust a little bit and kind of see what the everyday, day-to-day thing is here. Like get a good feel for it.
Not as a vacation.
Right, not as a vacation.
That's a different thing. If you're coming for 6-7 days in a row and going out every night and drinking and having the best time of your life, and you don't go further than this one little strip, you may not experience the real Dominican Republic. You'll experience a part of it, but you won't experience the real thing.
Yeah, and we all feel that. We've all been on vacation, whether it's in the same country you live at, into a nice touristy area. And of course, who can't do that, right? Like, we're going out every day. We're going up to the pool, to the beach, whatever it is. And you're not really working. I think it's important to work, all right? Whether it's on your business, whether it's, take some time to kind of organize yourself and do some work and say, okay, if I lived here, what are the things that I have to do? What are the areas I'm going to live in? Where are my kids? If you have kids that going to go to school, and kind of like, ubicarte, like how they say in Spanish, this is to make sure you're locating yourself and ingraining yourself into what it's going to be like living here.
Yeah. I listened to this interesting podcast, and it touched on a couple of real important parts. It's like the people that really thrive in this community, and he was talking about that have a deeper meaning. And for me, it was important, like the kids to learn their heritage and speak Spanish. That was really important for me. For me, it was to get healthy and connect with the ocean because I love the water and learn how to surf. Never came here to open a business or do any of that, because actually when we were doing the relocation, I was kind of like burnt out. I actually needed like a break. I need to enjoy that time and reinvigorate the passion and the time with my family. So the podcast was really interesting because it talked about the people that really do well here, is they come with a deeper meaning. And I think that's what the Dominican Bridge is also a part of it. And I always encourage like some of our friends and new people that are entering the community, like it doesn't even need to be financial. Like, great. If somebody has financial resources and they want to do something to help, that's amazing. But it also could be time. It could be experience. It could be showing up for other people to support them. So there's a lot of interesting ways. And kind of a cool fact for you guys, from the first time that somebody leaves Realtor DR a message to the time they actually purchase, it's 391 days on average.
Really?
That's a long time. And the reason why being is because, like you guys both mentioned, people should come here and spend some extended period of time. Like looking at a house online and being like, oh, this is such a great house and I love it. Well, here's the thing. You may go to that community and the community may not be right for you.
Exactly.
Just because something looks good on photography doesn't mean it's going to be the right fit, right? So we're always encouraging people like, listen, let's get that plane ticket down here. Let's get you into a place. Let's set you up in a community where you can spend preferably more than 1 week there. And then you can use your intuition. It's a feeling, right? Because if somebody's coming down here and what I'm finding now, they're not talking about as much like about their return on investment, because sure, there's some good markets here in short term and they can do well, but they're talking about, how do I want to wake up and spend my day?
Yeah.
They're talking about like how me and Eric were talking about getting in better shape. They were talking about how me and you were talking about being present in important moments in our children's life.
That's a big one.
It's like yourself talking about the calling that you had, right? In that there was a sense of this is where you belong as well. And I think those all play into all the things that we're talking about today. Now, you guys had the opportunity now. You've done a few different events. Walk me through the different events in locations that you've had these networking events so far.
So we started off in Santiago, really with the community that we connected with in Santiago. And we were like, hey, we want to set up an environment where we can all interact and to learn from each other, develop relationships with each other and friendships, things like that. And then we kind of experienced people asking, when are we going to do something in a different town?
Mm-hmm.
So, it really, for me, it calls me because I want to do it. I want to be able to connect people. I want to connect with people.
Yep.
Right. So that brought us to Santo Domingo.
Mm-hmm.
And Santo Domingo, our partner, Jay from Jay Abroad.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he partnered with us there, and we did the Santo Domingo event. It was great, and we got a lot of good feedback. And we're just gonna, we continued on to Punta Cana, and we want to meet. I think for me personally, I'm not gonna speak for Anthony. I want to meet everybody.
Yes, of course.
I know it's a lot of people, but if we can connect a few of them at least,
Yes.
I think we're doing what we need to be doing.
Listen, I'm all about showing up. I'm in Jamie Gruber's inner circle. And anytime somebody has anything there, I'm just trying to provide value. There's no expectation of return.
Right.
But if they're coming to the North Coast and specifically Cabarete and Sosua, I feel like I have an obligation to point them in the right direction if they want any recommendations, right? And I know Jamie in person. We have a great relationship. He's a real guy, real dude, down to earth. Jonah gives back. He's amazing. He has ties to the North Coast here, so he's super passionate about it and about Puerto Plata as well also. Now, Anthony, being to these different spots over here and getting to experience, where do you see, like, for example, because a lot of times when people, and we're talking to them the first time, obviously Punta Cana is always top of mind. I just think they dominate some of the headlines or even the travel. What do you see as some of the differences from your experience from Punta Cana to here?
I mean, there's so many differences. Punta Cana, first of all, let's talk. It's a rapidly growing city. The infrastructure is a little bit more like Western countries, and so that we can't deny. Over here is just more laid back. I mean, it's more like you get that local feel. You get that just kind of, I'm just vibing with everything. Like right now, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll take a nap now. I don't know. I feel
Listen,
so relaxed.
the older I get, which not that old, but the older I get, I had a nap today. Amazing. 1 hour nap. I was like, that's it. I'm ready to go. Like now I'm like super pumped. If I can squeeze a nap in, man, I feel like $1 million. There's nothing like a good nap, right?
Yeah.
I used to make fun of people who took naps before. Now I'm one of those people.
Hey, look, I'm getting there too, man. So I hear you, but it's so like to your point, it's just there's a different feel. Punta Cana, to me, I haven't been there too many times, but you get that energy right away. And I love Punta Cana and I love the North Coast for different reasons. Yeah. Right. And so over here is just like I said, the difference. I'm not saying you can't relax in Punta Cana. Of course, there's places for that. And we're on the island at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
I mean, Punta Cana is not Santo Domingo, or even Santiago with all the noise. But over here, it's just more laid back. I would imagine. I would liken this actually more to Las Terrenas.
Yes,
which
for sure.
is also completely different in its own way. So there's just so many interesting places here in the Dominican Republic. And I think this is definitely one of my favorite places.
Amazing. One thing I like about Punta Cana is the golf, because I like to golf. And there's so many good golf courses, reasonable price. The infrastructure for sure, I think, is probably the benchmark right now for the other developing areas.
This is newer.
Yeah, it's newer, and they did a really good job, right? Like the airport is extremely well organized, and there's so many available flights. But also, even driving there is like a really, really easy drive.
Comfortable.
Yep. And even occasionally, I think probably about once a year, like me and my wife, like we'll score a couple days and we'll go to like the Hard Rock there and all inclusive and spoil ourselves and enjoy that moment. So I even like said that experience as well. And Punta Cana is beautiful. Now, Santo Domingo versus here. What for maybe somebody who's been here but hasn't been to Santo Domingo, how would you say are some of the advantages or nice things about Santo Domingo?
That's a tough one for me. I used to go to as a kid to Santo Domingo, and I would want to go right back to Santiago. Look, I grew up in New York, and I grew up in all the noises and all the people and everything. But for me, Santo Domingo is a place I like to go to when I'm like, I want to experience the city life. Whenever I want to get something, with friends or things like that. But for me, honestly, Santiago and the general area, those are this Cabarete, this field here, and Santiago, those are my spots.
You have to tell everyone about the beach they have in Santiago.
This is an ongoing joke that Santiago does.
You got me earlier on.
It's like Santiago has a beach, you know that, right? Yeah, Puerto Plata.
A couple things I like about Santo Domingo. First of all, if you want like fine dining, and you're talking world-class fine dining.
Yes.
And I would consider the places that I've had the experience of fantastic service. Like when I went there, really, really great. My wife likes it because there's a few good places to shop. There's a good little surf spot called La Boya. So like last time we went down there, my daughter got to surf there and it was super cool. And they call it La Boya because it's like where you can see like the port ship over there and they have a buoy and the wave comes right off of there and it's a super cool wave.
Yeah.
The one thing though that I do not like about Santo Domingo is avoid rush hour.
Oh, the traffic.
Avoid rush hour.
I mean, that's the one I didn't even want to.
Oh my goodness. No.
Traffic is the
You're coming from New York or Toronto. It's probably one of the reasons when you come down here, you're like, I don't want to be in traffic.
Yeah.
But we went to the Ed Sheeran concert. I think it was 2 weekends ago. Uber is fantastic there.
Yeah.
And it's super cheap. I felt so bad. I had an Uber going there and it was like 170 pesos. I'm like, here, just take 500.
Yeah.
I looked at the guy's trip thing. It was like 8,600 trips in the last 2 years. I'm like, that's a lot. Here's this 500 pesos, like, because they work hard.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Santiago versus here. What would you say are some of the things that people love most about Santiago? And obviously, I guess we talked about why people love here, but what makes Santiago special to you guys?
Besides the fact that I was born there in my family, I would say there are a lot of people, feedback from friends and even what I've experienced, is it's the right size for someone who just kind of wants a little bit of city, but doesn't want the Santo Domingo size, metropolis style or vibe. Santiago hits the sweet spot.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Also, the campos around Santiago really just makes it a getaway super easy.
Yeah. The drive going through the mountain, there's two ways like from here that you can go. And both have some views that like no photograph that you take is going to justify how gorgeous it is. Like at this time of the day and the sun's going down and you have the mountainous range and you have the sun just glaring on there or the clouds giving a different look on the mountain. It's absolutely a world-class view that's there.
Yeah, it is. And what I wanted to touch on a little bit to add to what Julio was saying is Santiago, you have the campos in the area. So you have all those nice rivers. It's a smaller city. So if you think of maybe Philadelphia versus New York City, kind of completely different. Obviously, we're on an island with mountains and everything. So it's different. But, you get convenience, kind of like with the Santo Domingo talk, right? You get convenience. You have for consumers, especially. So if you're a consumer, you're going to love being there because you have those nice malls, right? You have the brand new malls, you have the brand new hotels, you have a lot of places that you go to eat as well. And so those are good, to me, are a lot of the differences between being maybe here where it's just like a slower pace of living, even on top of Santiago's a slower pace as well because we're still on the island compared to outside of the country. But you get a little bit more of, if you're trying to find some sort of product or service, it's probably going to be there versus here. So
totally. And I just had to have some medical checkups, make sure that everything is good. and the hospitals were fantastic. I got quick service. With my health plan, it was super affordable because those are a lot of questions sometimes when people have coming down here is what does the healthcare look like? And in Santiago, I consider it to be just as good as Toronto. From my personal experience, right?
Same.
So we were talking, the island is beautiful, and we mentioned some Punta Cana, Santiago, Santo Domingo, Cabarete, Puerto Plata, these areas over here. Where do you see the next Dominican Bridge event? And I know maybe, I don't know if you planned it yet, but where can you see the next couple markets that you guys think that you can add value and put together an event like that's going to happen here tonight?
I think we've been talking about Jarabacoa.
Oh, no.
Yeah. With Nikki Abreu, Nicole, she's here tonight. So for the matter, you'll meet her tonight. And we've been looking at Las Terrenas as well. I think it's a no-brainer. It has a big European influence there as well. So maybe we'll get somebody to help us. We've been, considering some people there. But I think those are the two places that we're definitely looking at where, I think people would enjoy this type of event.
Absolutely. I think those two markets are definitely something that the moment you have them penciled in, let me know. Me and my wife would definitely like to join. And today is also about, the networking event is about giving back. I know that when we originally talked, it was important for us to make sure that this event, that we could leave it with something even more. Tell me a little bit about what's going on today in giving back.
So we are working to give local children in the North Coast, help them get ready to go back to school.
That's right.
And from what I'm aware, Realtor DR is also matching up to 4K
Yes.
in funds.
Yes.
And I think everyone should really help to give back if you're in a position to. If there are some communities that recently have been in need.
Absolutely.
And I think if we can help give back to those communities, we should.
Yeah.
And we should absolutely use every opportunity like this platform, like these events, to do so.
I can guarantee you with the group that's coming out to here, and I've already had some great feedback, that we are going to make it better. And we are going to help a lot of kids go back to school with the necessary supplies, with backpacks, with starting the year with everything that they need to make it a great year. And that's a part of collaboration. And that's something that when we put the teamwork together, dream work can happen. And I'm proud to say that, we have an opportunity to share a platform today and hopefully in the future, again, to make it better and to contribute, right? So if somebody wants to learn more, how can they get a hold of you, or what's the best way that they can follow you guys to learn more?
If someone wants to be hear from upcoming events, giving back initiatives, any type of activity that we're doing in Dominican Bridge, they just got to go to DominicanBridge.com and sign up to the newsletter, and we email out all the upcoming activities.
Excellent. You heard that. Go to www.dominicanbridge.com. Sign up for the newsletter so you don't miss anything. For us at Realtor DR, if you're interested, if you're curious, if you want to know more information about the Dominican Bridge, about the back to school initiative, possibly relocation, maybe about investments, you can get a hold of me at robert@realtordr.com or go to our website. Anthony, looking forward to tonight and having a great event. Julio, thank you guys so much. And thank you guys. Please like and subscribe.